Hello, my name is Zachary Logan. I'm a visual artist based in Regina, Saskatchewan. I work primarily with drawing, ceramics, and related installation practices. My body is always the catalyst for my work, and I also have an interest in intersecting relationships between queerness and the natural world, and my basic political philosophy, which is there's no separation between land and body. So oftentimes there's this idea that the human body is separate from the rest of the world and from the natural world. But basically my philosophy, my ideas about that relate to my work, try to sort of dispel this notion of separation. So I'm often interested in mythologies like Persephone because they are a personification of the land and of animals and of the natural workings of the world, but also they're about human relationships. And there are many different versions of the Persephone and Hades story. In some iterations, Persephone is abducted, which is sort of a common theme in Greek mythology. In other versions of the story, she willingly goes down to hell. In some versions, she goes unwillingly and is not in love with Hades, but then sort of falls in love. So there's this idea of Stockholm Syndrome in relationship to the story. And then in others, she does love him, and she also, in the story, the character sort of is able to return to Earth. And so it's sort of a story of like spring and rebirth, and ideas of regeneration. And oftentimes my work is also, relates to ideas of mortality. Oftentimes I use specific plants, and I use them in specific ways. So for instance, all of the plants in this, depicted in this drawing triptych were grown in my studio, and I dried them and I drew from life. So sometimes my work is observational, sometimes it's completely invented, and other times I use photographic reference points. And I do any number of those things for any number of reasons in relation to the work. So there's Bergamot and Blazing Star, which are mentioned in the titles of the works. Well, I think I like to, with all of my work, I like to sort of slow down the viewer, and I often find that in the world that we live in, we are often interacting with technologies that really speed up our brain. And so I think with art objects, and I know that is sort of my experience of going into a museum. I do feel like I sort of slow down, and my brain is sort of functions and realizes things in a different way. And so I guess I would like to, I propose a notion of thinking about the natural world and the processes of our own lives and relationship to the land.